Welcome, friends, to this deeply heartfelt and extended tribute video dedicated to a true cornerstone of American music history, a man whose velvety voice and soul-stirring melodies wove the very fabric of swamp pop into the hearts of listeners worldwide, Tommy McLain. As we gather here today, it's with a profound sense of sorrow and reverence that I must share the news that is left a void in the world of music. Tommy McLain passed away peacefully on July 24, 2025, at the remarkable age of 85, surrounded by the unwavering love of his family in those quiet morning hours. While the precise cause of his death has been kept private out of respect for his loved ones, it's understood that it came after a life filled with the highs of artistic triumph and the inevitable challenges of time, perhaps tied to the natural frailties that come with such a long and vibrant journey. For those of us who have ever been moved by the haunting beauty of his songs, who have felt the pull of nostalgia in his lyrics, or who have discovered the raw emotion in his performances, this loss resonates like a final, lingering note in one of his ballads, bittersweet, unforgettable, and deeply personal. It's as if a piece of Louisiana's soulful bayou is dimmed, leaving us to reflect on the man who brought light to so many through his music. In this extended video, we'll take our time to delve even deeper into his age at the time of passing, the close-knit family that was his anchor, his modest yet meaningful net worth, the evolving lifestyle that mirrored his resilient spirit, and a comprehensive biography that traces every twist and turn of his extraordinary life. Join me on this emotional, nostalgic journey as we honor Tommy McLain. Not just as a musician, but as a dreamer, a family man, and a legend whose legacy will continue to inspire long after the music fades. It's going to be a ride filled with tears, smiles, and those timeless tunes that made him immortal, so settle in, grab a tissue if you need one, and let's remember the voice that defined an era. To truly appreciate the depth of Tommy McLain's impact, we have to travel back to the very beginnings, to the humid, vibrant landscapes of Louisiana where his story took root amid the whispers of the bayous and the rhythms of everyday life. Born Thomas McLain on March 15, 1940, in the quaint rural town of Jonesville, Louisiana, Tommy entered the world as the youngest in his family, a position that perhaps instilled in him a sense of wonder and determination from the start. His early years were spent in Pineville, where his father worked tirelessly at Camp Beauregard during the turbulent times of World War II, and the family lived in modest tents surrounded by the comings and goings of soldiers. Imagine a little boy, no more than a toddler, immersed in that environment, yet even then, music was his escape and his joy. Family gatherings on those lively Friday and Saturday nights became his first stage. Relatives would strum guitars, sing old folk tunes, and dance under the stars, and young Tommy, standing atop a makeshift box to reach the microphone or just to be seen, would belt out songs with a passion that belied his age. By the tender age of 5, he had picked up the bass guitar, teaching himself the basics through sheer enthusiasm, drawing inspiration from the electrifying sounds of local heroes like Little Richard, with his wild energy, Fats Domino's infectious piano rolls, and Larry Williams' rhythmic drive. These weren't just influences, they were the sparks that ignited a fire in his soul, giving him those unforgettable chills that only true music lovers understand. As he grew into his teens at Pineville High School, Tommy formed his first band, honing his skills while working as a disc jockey at the local radio station KREH in Oakdale, where he'd spin records during the day and dream of the spotlight at night. It was a humble start, far from the glitz of fame, but it laid the foundation for a career that would blend heartache, hope, and the unique flavor of Southern soul. The 1950s marked the true launch of Tommy's musical odyssey, a period of discovery and collaboration that would shape him into the swamp pop pioneer we revere today. Teaming up with country singer Clint West, he joined forces with groups like the Veltones in the late 50s, immersing himself in the emerging swamp pop genre, a magical fusion of rhythm and blues, country heartache, and Cajun zest that captured the essence of Louisiana's cultural melting pot. By the 1960s, as part of the Boogie Kings, Tommy recorded the duet Try to Find Another Man in 1965, a track that showcased his emotive vocals and hinted at the stardom to come. But oh, what a breakthrough 1966 would bring. His cover of Don Gibson's Sweet Dreams soared to number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100, selling over 3 million copies and becoming an anthem of longing that still tugs at the heartstrings today. Can you picture the young artist, pouring his soul into that recording, transforming a simple country ballad into a swamp pop masterpiece with layers of emotion that made listeners feel seen in their own vulnerabilities? That success opened doors to national television, including spots on Dick Clark's Where the Action Is, where his charm and talent shone brightly. He hit the road with Clark's Caravan of Stars, sharing stages with rock luminaries like the Yardbirds, whose psychedelic vibes contrasted yet complemented his soulful style, Paul Revere and the Raiders with their high-energy pop, and Tommy James and the Shondells, creating memories of camaraderie and electrifying performances that fans still reminisce about. Tommy wasn't content to be just a singer. He was a virtuoso on multiple fronts, mastering keyboards, drums, bass guitar, fiddle, and even the bagpipes, which added an unexpected flair to his repertoire. Over his career, he penned more than 150 songs, including hits like If You Don't Love Me, Then Leave Me Alone, for Freddie Fender, which became a chart topper and showcased his songwriting prowess. His talents extended to the silver screen too, with appearances alongside Paul Newman in the 1975 film The Drowning Pool, where he performed with his Mule Train Band, blending his music into Hollywood's narrative. Recognitions poured in over the years: induction into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame in 2007, honoring his contributions to the state's rich musical heritage, and even the Swedish Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, proving his appeal transcended borders and oceans. As the 60s gave way to the 70s and beyond, Tommy's career became a tapestry of persistence and passion, navigating the changing tides of the music industry while staying true to his roots. He continued touring relentlessly through the Deep South, his soulful tenor voice, a blend of velvet smoothness and raw emotion, drawing crowds to clubs and festivals where swamp pop reigned supreme. Radio gigs at stations like KREH kept him connected to fans, spinning the very tunes that inspired him while slipping in his own recordings to keep the momentum alive. Even as disco and rock dominated the airwaves, Tommy preserved the genre's flame, collaborating on gems like Before I Grow Too Old, a Silver Fox cover that later caught the attention of British pop star Lily Allen, who featured it on her 2014 Desert Island Discs episode, introducing his work to a new generation across the pond. After a lengthy recording hiatus that spanned decades, during which he focused on live performances and personal growth, Tommy staged one of the most inspiring comebacks in music history. At the age of 82, in 2022, he released I Ran Down Every Dream, his first album in over 40 years. A poignant collection of self-penned songs that reflected on life's fleeting moments, the devastation of Hurricane Katrina in tracks like the heartfelt Don't Make Me Leave New Orleans, and collaborations with icons such as Elvis Costello, whose brooding style meshed perfectly with Tommy's, Nick Lowe, adding a touch of British wit, Ivan Neville with his New Orleans flair, John Cleary's keyboard mastery, and others who brought fresh energy to his timeless sound. This album wasn't just a release. It was a renaissance, proving that age is no barrier to creativity, and he promoted it with tours alongside his loyal Mule Train Band, performing right up until his later years with the same fire that lit up those early house parties. It's stories like these that make his journey so inspiring, reminding us that true artists evolve, adapt, and never stop chasing the dreams that define them. At the core of Tommy's world, amidst the applause and the spotlights, was his family. A steadfast source of love, support, and grounding that kept him humble through every chapter. He leaves behind a beautiful legacy of kinship, his sons Barry, married to Phyllis and residing in Crowley, David, with his wife Amy in Mansura, Chad, alongside Nikki in Cottonport, and Jonathan, with Julia in Pride. His daughters, Felicia Swallow, wed to William in Cottonport, and Allison Lemoyne, with Guy in Ploucheville, were pillars of his life, each carrying forward the warmth and creativity he instilled in them. In his final days, his devoted significant other, Carol Skaggs, stood by him, offering comfort and companionship that spoke to the deep bonds they shared. Together, they celebrated a sprawling family tree that included 10 cherished grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren, and even 1 great-great-grandchild, all of whom brought joy and purpose to his days. Tommy often reflected on how these relationships mirrored the familial house parties of his youth, where music and laughter intertwined, and he took immense pride in being a father and grandfather, sharing stories of guiding his children through life's ups and downs while drawing strength from their presence. The family described him as a beloved figure whose music would forever echo in their hearts, a testament to how he balanced the demands of fame with the quiet intimacies of home life. There were undoubtedly challenges navigating the strains of a touring lifestyle, perhaps moments of absence due to the road, but Tommy's commitment to his loved ones shone through, creating a home filled with the same emotional depth he infused into his songs. It's these personal touches that make his story so relatable and touching, reminding us that behind every legend is a human being nurtured by family ties. While Tommy McLain's net worth wasn't the stuff of tabloid headlines, He lived a life more focused on artistic fulfillment than ostentatious wealth. Estimates at the time of his passing place it in the range of $2 to $5 million, a comfortable sum accrued through a lifetime of dedication to his craft. This fortune stemmed from the royalties of his evergreen hits, like the millions sold of Sweet Dreams, which continued to generate income through covers, streams, and placements in media long after its release. Songwriting credits, such as those for Freddie Fender's successes, added steady streams, while tours in the 60s and 70s, film appearances like The Drowning Pool, and later performances with the Mule Train Band contributed significantly. His 2022 album I Ran Down Every Dream brought a fresh influx, bolstered by high-profile collaborations and renewed interest from fans old and new. Tommy wasn't one to chase luxury for its own sake. His wealth supported a modest existence, allowing him to invest in his music, family, and the Louisiana communities he held dear, rather than flashy displays. It's a refreshing reminder in an era of excess that true richness comes from passion and legacy, not just dollars. Tommy's lifestyle was a beautiful reflection of his roots and his growth, evolving from the high-octane days of youth to a more contemplative wisdom in his later years, always centered around the bayous and beats of Louisiana. In his prime, he embodied the touring musician's nomadic spirit, crisscrossing the country in buses and planes, performing in smoky clubs and grand venues, soaking up the vibrant culture of places like New Orleans and Baton Rouge, where swamp pop pulsed through the night. He called various spots in Louisiana home over the years, from Jonesville's rural charm to Pineville's wartime bustle, embracing the food, festivals, and folklore that fueled his creativity. As the decades passed, Tommy adapted gracefully, shifting toward a healthier, more introspective routine, especially after finding a deeper sense of faith that brought him solace and inspired lyrics about life's deeper meanings. In interviews, he spoke of morning routines filled with quiet reflection, playing his instruments at home, perhaps strumming the bass or fiddling with bagpipes, for personal joy rather than performance. Family gatherings remained a staple, echoing those childhood parties, and he stayed active with local gigs, connecting with fans who appreciated his authenticity. Health became a focus in his 80s. After the rigors of a long career, he prioritized wellness, perhaps through walks along the bayou or mindful eating, all while battling the subtle aches of age with the same grace he brought to his ballads. Even in retirement, he never fully stepped away, performing sporadically and collaborating until the end, a true testament to his unyielding spirit. It's this evolution, from wide-eyed boy on a box to wise elder sharing wisdom, that makes his life story so profoundly moving. As we come to the close of this extended tribute, reflecting on Tommy McLain's peaceful passing on July 24, 2025, at the age of 85, it's impossible not to be overwhelmed by a wave of emotion, gratitude for the music he gifted us, sorrow for the silence left behind, and inspiration from a life lived with such heartfelt authenticity. He wasn't merely a swamp pop pioneer. He was a master storyteller who blended the rhythms of R&B, the twang of country, and the spice of Cajun into songs that captured the human experience in all its beauty and pain. From those humble Jonesville beginnings, through chart-topping fame, Hall of Fame honors, and a triumphant late-career album that bridged generations, Tommy's path teaches us that dreams are timeless, resilience is key, and music has the power to heal and connect. His family, now the keepers of his flame, along with fans who will keep spinning his records, ensure his voice endures. Rest in eternal peace, Tommy, your sweet dreams have become our cherished memories, echoing through the bayous and beyond forever. If this extended tribute has stirred your soul, brought back waves of nostalgia, or introduced you to the magic of Tommy McLain's world, I'd be truly grateful if you'd give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth stories about music legends who shaped our lives. Thanks so much for spending this time with me, take care, and keep the music playing.